Good morning, students. Today we are going to see periodic trends of some of the topics. So first one is atomic radius. Here we are going to see structure of atom first. You can take nucleus. This nucleus is present at the center. Inside, protons and neutrons are present. Electrons are present outside the nucleus. This electron is called as valence electron. This circular path is called as valence shell or orbit or energy level. I will see the definition of atomic radius. So atomic radius is defined as the distance between the center of its nucleus and valence shell. Here it is containing valence electrons. Next, here if you want to calculate atomic radius of an isolated atom, it is not easy to measure directly. It is not possible. Except noble cases, atomic radius referred as here metallic radius and covalent radius depending on the nature of bonding between the atoms. So we'll take first one, metallic radius. Atomic radius in metal atoms are called as metallic radius. So metallic radius is defined as the distance between the nucleus of adjacent metal atoms. It is called as metallic radius. Next one, atomic radius in non-metals. Here it is called as covalent radius. Here it is defined as half the distance between two covalently bonded atoms of the same element in a molecule. So you can take here hydrogen molecule. Two hydrogen atoms are combining and producing this molecule. So the distance between two hydrogen nuclei is 0.74 angstrom. So if you want to calculate covalent radius, you can divide this 0.74 angstrom by 2. You will get here 0.37 angstrom. When you see the variation of atomic radius in the periodic table, there are two trends. One is along the period. Along the period, atomic radius decreases from left to right. Along the group, atomic radius increases from top to bottom because increase in the valence shell number. As the shell number increases, the distance between the nucleus and the valence shell it is also increased. Along the period, here atomic radius decreases from left to right because shell number remains same but number of protons increases. So here number of protons are called atomic number. It is denoted by Z. So in this case, atomic radius decreases. Here more and more positive charges here giving a strong attraction on the electrons so that the electron cloud shrinks towards the nucleus. So here the atomic size is decreased. Atomic radius from lithium to boron decreases. Next one we are going to see about electron affinity. So electron affinity is the amount of energy released when a gaseous atom gain an electron to form its anion. So here you can take one example. Chlorine, it is receiving an electron to form Cl minus and energy is released. Here this electron affinity is measured in kilojoule per mole. Here along the period, electron affinity increases from left to right. Along the group, electron affinity decreases from top to bottom. Thank you, students. Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about ionic radius. So ionic radius is defined as the distance from the center of the nucleus of the ion up to the point where it exerts its influence on the electron cloud of the ion. When an atom moves or gains electron, it forms ion. Now we will see some examples for neutral atom. First one is Li. Li means lithium. Second one is Na. Na means sodium. Third one is F. F means fluorine. Fourth one is Cl. Cl means chlorine. So these are all some examples for neutral atom. When a neutral atom loses an electron, it becomes a positively charged ion called cation. It is represented by plus. When a neutral atom gains an electron, it becomes a negatively charged ion called anion. It is represented by minus. The size of the cation is smaller than neutral atom. The size of the anion is greater or larger than neutral atom. So size of the ion, it is very important to determine their behaviors in solution and structure of ionic solid. Now we will see the example, lithium and sodium. These two are having single electron. Single means one electron in its outermost orbit to form here cation. So these two, sodium and lithium, they are losing an electron to produce cation. So here electrons are remaining at the inner shells and it is strongly attracted by the nucleus. Next one is fluorine and chlorine. So fluorine and chlorine gaining an electron to produce anion. So in this case, when electrons are added, the charge on the nucleus, it is not great enough to hold the electrons as closely as it in its neutral atom because they are loosely bound. Now we will see radii in picometers. For first one, lithium. Lithium is having 156. Here Li plus. This Li plus is having 90. You can see the size of this cation is smaller than lithium. So the ionic radii here 90 is smaller than 156. In the same way, next one, sodium. Sodium is having 186. Na plus is having 160. Next one is fluorine. Fluorine is having 69 ionic radii in picometers and F minus it is having 119 ionic radii in picometers. Next last one is Cl. Cl is having 91 ionic radii in picometers. Cl minus it is having 167 ionic radii in picometers. Next one, Casi C in atomic radius. This ionic radii here decreases here from left to right along the period, increases from top to bottom down the group. Thank you, students. Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about ionization energy. So ionization energy is the minimum energy required to remove an electron from a gaseous atom in its ground state to form the cation. Cation means plus. So it is also called as ionization enthalpy. It is measured in kilojoules per mole. Higher the ionization energy, it is more difficult to remove the electron. When atomic size decreases along the period from left to right, here more energy is required because it is strongly attracted by the nucleus. So ionization energy increases from left to right along the period. When atomic size increases along the group from top to bottom, less energy is required to remove the electron because valence electrons are loosely bound. So ionization energy decreases from top to bottom down the group in the periodic table. As positive charge increases, the size of the cation decreases. Cation means plus. As negative charge increases, the size of the anion increases. Anion is represented by minus. So size of the ion, it is used to determine their behaviors in solution and structure of ionic solids. Thank you, students. Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about electronegativity. Electronegativity of an element is the measure of the tendency of its atom to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself in a covalent bond. Let us see an example. HCl molecule. So HCl is a combination of hydrogen and chlorine. Hydrogen means H, chlorine symbol is Cl. So this hydrogen and chlorine both are here sharing one electron to produce a covalent bond between them. This hydrogen is having weak pull and chlorine is having strong pull. So chlorine is having the higher electronegativity. So it is pulling this shared pair of electrons towards itself more strongly than this hydrogen. When the bond breaks here, this chlorine here, it is getting this electrons, that is left electron towards itself. Here it will be producing H plus and Cl minus. So electron is transferred. So this is relative electronegativity of hydrogen and chlorine. So this electronegativity here, it is based on the different experimental data such as bond energy, ionization potential and electron affinity, etc. So next, Pauling scale. So this Pauling scale is widely used to find the electronegativity, and then it is used to find the nature of bond, whether it is ionic or covalent between the atoms in a molecule. Thank you, students. Good morning, students. Today we will see the electronegativity continuation. So electronegativity of some of the elements. First one is fluorine. Symbol is F. It is equal to 4.0. Second one is chlorine. Symbol is Cl. It is equal to 3.0. Third one is bromine. Symbol is Br. It is equal to 2.8. Fourth one is iodine. Symbol is I. It is equal to 2.5. And last one is hydrogen. Symbol is H. It is equal to 2.1. If the difference in electronegativity between two elements is 1.7, the bond has 50% of ionic character and 50% of covalent character. If the difference is lesser than 1.7, then the bond is considered to be covalent. If the difference is greater than 1.7, then the bond is considered to be ionic. Next one is along the period from left to right, electronegativity increases because increase in nuclear charge. So electrons are attracted more strongly. Along the group from top to bottom, electronegativity decreases because increase in the number of energy levels. Now we will revise all the periodic property in periods and groups. Here first one is atomic radius in periods decreases, in group increases. Second one is ionic radius in periods decreases, in group increases. Third one is ionization energy. In periods increases, in group decreases. Fourth one is electron affinity. In period increases, in group decreases. And last one is electronegativity. In periods increases, in groups decreases. Thank you, students. Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about metallurgy. First we will see the metallurgy introduction. Human activities are connecting with the metals. So metals we are using in our day-to-day life. Some metals are useful for our human body, such as sodium, potassium, calcium, iron. Sodium symbol is Na, potassium symbol is K, calcium symbol is Ca, iron symbol is Fe. So here metals level is reduced, then it will be affecting our metabolic activities and it is causing diseases. So metals are playing an important role in our day-to-day life. So here the metals are obtained from various sources or different sources by the process of metallurgy. So in this case, first we will see about what is meant by metallurgy. So metallurgy is a science of extracting metals from their ores and modifying the metals into alloys for various uses based on their physical and chemical properties and their structural arrangement of atom. I repeat, metallurgy is a science of extracting metal. Here extracting means separating metals from their ores and modifying the metals into alloys. Metal means here single, alloys means more than one metal. We are using for different purpose based on their physical and chemical properties and their structural arrangement of atoms. Here, this metallurgical process involves in three main steps. So, first one we will see about here concentration or separation of the ore. So, first step is concentration or separation of the ore. Second one is production of the metal. Third step is refining of the metal. So first one is here concentration or separation of the ore is here. We are removing the impurities from the ore. Here we can see some method. First method is hydraulic method or gravity separation method. Second one is called as magnetic separation method. Third one is froth flotation method. Fourth one is chemical method or leaching method. So these are the method used to concentrate the ore or enrich the ore. Second step is production of the metal. So here we are converting the ore into metal. Third step is we are purifying the metal. Next one we are going to see about terminology in metallurgy. So in this first we will see about minerals. Minerals, it is a single compound or a complex mixtures of various compounds of metals which are present in the earth crust. Second one is ore. So ore here is the mineral from which a metal can be readily or economically extracted on a large scale. Extracted means separated on a large scale in industries. So this is called as ores. So here All ores are mineral, but all the minerals are not ore. That means some ores are taking part in the extraction of metal. For example, clay. Clay formula is Al2O3, 2SiO2, 2H2O. Next one is bauxite. Bauxite formula is Al2O3, 2H2O. So here clay is acting as a mineral because it is not taking part in the extraction of metal. But bauxite is taking part in the extraction of metal. So this bauxite is called as ore. Next one we are going to see about mining. So it is the process of extracting the ore from the earth crust. So it is called as mining. Fourth one is gangue or matrix. Here it is called as the rocky impurity present within ore. It is called as gangue or matrix. Next one is flux. So it is the substance added to reduce the fusion temperature, or you can say to lower the fusion temperature and to remove the impurities. Example, calcium oxide. Formula is CaO. It is called basic. Next one is silica. Formula is SiO2. It is acidic. When the gangue is acidic, then basic flux is added. When the gangue is basic, then acidic flux is added here. Next one we are going to see about slag. Slag is the product formed when flux is combining with gangue. So here you are saying slag means we are removing the impurities. Next one is smelting. So smelting is the process of reducing the roasted metallic oxide from the metal in its molten condition. So here we are removing the impurities, or you can say impurities are removed as slag by the addition of flux or by adding the flux. So that's all about this terminology and metallurgy. So shall we revise from the beginning? First one is called as minerals. Second one is called as ore. Third one is called as mining. Fourth one is gangue or matrix. Fifth one is flux. Sixth one is slag. Seventh one is smelting. Thank you, students. Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about metallurgy, types of separation or concentration of an ore. There are four major types of separation. It is based on the nature of ore. So here the ore is crushed into powder form. So first we will see about here hydraulic method. Hydraulic method, or we can say gravity separation method. The difference in the densities or specific gravities of the ore and the gangue is a main principle. Here oxide ore is purified by this method, or you can say oxide ore is concentrated by this method, that is hydraulic or gravity separation method. Hematite we can take. Formula is Fe2O3, ore of iron. We pour this powdered ore into this sloping. Next we are allowing the water to pour over this ore. When we are allowing this water, here heavier metallic ores are settled in the grooves and lighter particles are washed away with water. So I'll repeat here. The powdered ore is poured on a sloping, vibrating table in the grooves, and then water is allowed to flow over this. Here, heavier metallic particles are settled down in the grooves and lighter particles are washed away with water. Second one is magnetic separation method. The magnetic properties of the ore form the basis of separation. When the ore is magnetic or gong is magnetic, we can apply this method. We can use this method to concentrate the ore. Here you can take example tin stone. Formula is SnO2. So here crushed powder form of ore is taken. Here allowed to pass over this belt. Here this belt is connecting the two metal wheels. Among these two, one is magnetic. It is called as magnetic roller. When we are passing this over this belt, here the magnetic particles are attracted by the magnetic roller and non-magnetic particles are not attracted by the magnetic roller. It is passing here away from the magnetic roller. Next one, we are going to see about froth flotation method. This is specially for lighter ores, for sulfide ore. So here we are going to take zinc blend. Formula is ZnS. So this sulfide ore is wetted by pine oil. Next one is gong is wetted by water. So here we are going to take an iron tank. Inside this we have to add sulfide ore. Next water. This water is containing pine oil. All this we have to take in this iron tank. Next we have to send the compressed air. Here the mixing is taking place by agitating. Here the ore is wetted by the pine oil. Here it is coming on the surface with a froth. Next are called gong. It is settled down at the bottom of the iron tank. Next one is chemical method or leaching. When ore is in a very pure form, this method can be used. Here ore is treating with suitable reagent and here ore is soluble and impurities not soluble or not dissolved in it. So impurities are removed by filtration. Solution of ore, it is called as filtrate. It is treating with suitable reagent and to form the precipitate. Here is example bauxite. Bauxite formula is Al2O3 2H2O. It is used in the extraction of aluminium. This is the main ore of aluminium. So first one is hydraulic method. Here we are taking oxide ore. Second one is magnetic separation method. Here you are taking tin stone. Third one is froth flotation method. Here you are taking sulfide ore. Here you are taking pure form of ore. Next we are going to see about occurrence of ores in Tamil Nadu. First one is limestone. Limestone is present in Coimbatore, Kadalur and Dindigul. Second one is gypsum. It is present in Trichy and Coimbatore district. Third one is titanium minerals. It is present in Kanyakumari, Tirunelveli and Tuticorin. Fourth one is chromite. It is present in Coimbatore and Salem district. Fifth one is magnetite. It is present in Erode, Dharmaburi, Salem and Tiruvannamalai district. Last one is tungsten. It is present in Madurai and Dindigul. Thank you, students.